Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Adulting with my husband over here, Mr. Chiz Escudero. The last video that we actually did, we were talking about legal advices and we didn't expect that there'd be a lot of more questions, and then we realized, well, I realized that, getting legal advice is sometimes hard because a lot of people kind of get sindak because they feel like they have to pay the attorney and all of that. So we decided to come up with another video, and we collected all of your questions and hopefully that this can help you guys.
Ginagawa ko to dati. Meron kaming radio program noon after the news with President Danny Con of UP now.
Okay.
Usapang de Campanilla used to be handled by Senator Rene Cayetano. Tatawag lang sila, magtatanong. But now I think there's already, if there's telemed for doctors, meron na ring line that you can call some lawyers.
Oh.
And they do it as a form of charity to reach out, pro bono.
Nice.
So may ganun na rin.
Okay, so let's start the first question because a lot of people liked when we spoke about the LGBTQ and how they were, wondering kunwari pag na-aksidente yung isa, ano mangyayari dun sa partner because they're not legally married. So we answered that the last time. And now there's also another question. How can, is there like some sort of protection for the LGBTQ persons from abandonment from their family or yung ganon? You see a lot of older LGBTQ member na after nila paaralin lahat, ganyan.
It's not common practice in the Philippines that we abandon our old parents, old lolos and lolas. We usually take care of them as they grow older. However, in the case of LGBTQ, they don't have children or they find it difficult to adopt or have someone to take care of. So they usually take care of their nieces and nephews. Na may magulang din naman.
Yeah, pero sila lahat.
Yes, I have a lot of friends like that, but there is no law that requires or provides protection, whether for LGBTQ or for men or women who age. Although some local government units do have homes for the aged.
Yeah.
The DSWD, they also have homes for the aged. Some private institutions also provide homes for the aged. I can only speak of Sorsogon, for example. There's a private institution run by a religious sector that actually takes care of them.
Yes.
You've been there.
Yeah.
But we also put up our own.
Yeah.
This one operated by the provincial government.
At saka at least yun, may budget talaga sila.
At saka nilagay namin sa likod ng ospital para, syempre, habang tumatanda, mas kailangan ng medical attention. So mas malapit na.
Walang law that protects.
Kasi nga, hindi naman kaugalian talaga ng Pilipino yun, na pinapabayaan yung kanilang mga magulang at lolo't lola.
Ang question ko, bakit wala tayong parang mga insurance na, yung mandatory talaga na, yung mga ganon? Like,
similar to what they have in the States.
Yeah.
You are correct. We don't have that. We don't have that here. It's not provided for here.
I
That's
feel
something.
that we should, right?
That's something that perhaps may be a good area for legislation.
Yeah, you know what to do. Okay, another question.
Utusan talaga?
No, but it's true, diba? Yes, so one commented and asked if she's from a different country, I think US, and she wants to adopt a child here in the Philippines. How do you think she should do it, and is it hard? I mean,
it is a long process because tendencies are countries protect their own citizens, especially if they want to be adopted by foreigners, and vice versa, of course. So pag may Pilipino rin gusto mag-adopt ng foreigner, ganun din naman sa bansa kung saan nanggaling yung bata. So sa atin, may prosesong pagdadaanan. Dadaan sa DSWD syempre at dadaan sa tinatawag natin, there's an agency called Inter-Country Adoption Board. Kung saan kikilatisin, susuriin nila yung mga gusto mag-adopt ng dayuhan o banyaga para tingnan kung mapupunta ba sa mabuting kalagayan yung Pilipinong bata na nais nilang i-adopt.
It's actually very tricky, the whole adoption situation, because as they age, nawawalan din sila ng chance talaga, and then eventually at a certain age, kailangan na nilang umalis dun sa center. Am I right?
Yes, but at a certain age too, they will be of age, meaning 18, and they get to decide for themselves.
I know, but then it's hard because,
Definitely, but not everyone gets adopted too.
yeah, that's why.
Not everyone gets adopted too, so the government takes care of them until they reach 18, until they finish their schooling, K to 12.
So
And
at
then,
least nakatapos ng school, okay na yun.
yes, and then since college is free for state colleges and universities, then hopefully they only have to.
But they don't have any kind of like little allowance man lang that will keep them going? I mean, where do you go when you have nothing from...
We passed a law when I was still in the Senate, Free Tertiary Education Act, which basically means, as I said, libre yung matrikula sa college at university na pag-aari ng gobyerno. And you can also apply for allowances. Kung nag-aaral ka sa private school, hindi lang naman kasi pampublikong eskwelahan yung karapatan dapat, pwede ka rin mag-apply for what they call TES, Tertiary Education Subsidy, para bayaran ng gobyerno yung tuition mo doon sa private school plus allowances.
Okay, I have a question because in case somebody out there who is in that situation and who's 18 and you're watching this video, is there a center or a place that they can go to so then they have some kind of guidance of what they need to do next in their life?
To pay their tuition or
No, I
in
mean
general?
like, ano dapat gawin ko? I mean, obviously they don't have a lawyer or saan sila dapat pumunta?
Anong question niya? Anong gagawin niya sa buhay
Oh,
niya?
ano gagawin niya? Anong first step? Paano, saan siya titira? Anong, diba?
Ang hirap naman nun.
Bakit? Or is it...
Usually, ang tinatanong mo dyan, yung magulang mo, sino mga
Yun na
nakatatanda
nga,
sa'yo,
kaya
sino
nga
nag-guide
wala
sa'yo.
silang Ano, pero is it required that the adoption center will be able to help them? I mean,
Yes.
is there a law?
Yes, the DSWD, in theory and legally, should be the one to take care of that need insofar as orphanages are concerned. Even insofar as a person wondering or not knowing what to do and would like to ask a question, what benefits he or she can get from the state, whether it's medical, whether it's social, whether it's to find a job. In theory, that's the job of the social worker
Okay,
of
so-
every municipality and province.
In short, you could just show up there and they should, or no?
They should answer your questions. And as best,
Love and care. Oo.
in theory.
Dapat. Kung
In
hindi,
theory, sana, well, may mga tinanggal na kaming social worker na medyo.
Hindi pwede. Actually, natitrigger ako kasi iniisip ko paano homeless, ganyan, kawawa.
Na medyo mataas, mataray at
Hindi dapat ganun.
exactly.
That's your job. That's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to guide people, right?
Exactly. Kaya, well, ginawa lang naman namin yun ng simula. Nung nakita nilang pinatulan yung gumawa nun, medyo sumunod naman.
Muna na.
Naman.
Change your heart and your act. This is actually a common question because a lot of people say, divorce na siya. Technically, we don't actually have divorce here in the Philippines. Annulment lang. But what is the difference? Master ka dyan, dear.
Para namang law school to.
Master ka
Katatapos lang ng bar.
I know. Go.
Technically, annulment pertains to a basis for separating that happened at the time of marriage. Divorce technically pertains to a ground for separation that happened after the marriage. That's the basic distinction between the two. So, for example, in the States or in other countries, a ground for divorce would be incompatibility. So you discover that after you got married, that you're incompatible. Yung isa mahilig mag-shopping, yung isa, parang ganon, kumbaga. Sample lang
Yung
yan.
isang sungit, tapos hindi pala yung isang...
So, ang civil code ng Pilipinas, nakalagay doon annulment lamang. So, ang grounds for annulment, halimbawa, shotgun marriage. Tinutukan ka para sumasabing, oo, magpapakasal ako sa'yo, napilitan ka lang.
Yeah.
Yung paring nagkasal o solemnizing officer na nagkasal, peke, nag-costume lang, ground yon for annulment ng kasal. Dumating yung family code nung naging Pangulo si dating Pangulong Corazon Aquino. Nilagay niya sa family code, dinagdagan niya ng ground pa. Under Article 36 of the family code, naglagay siya ng ground for annulment. Tinawag pa rin annulment. Psychological incapacity. Psychological incapacity defined basically means your inability to perform essential marital obligations. She or he was not able to perform essential marital obligations like provide love, support, intimacy.
Yeah, pero kailangan pa rin ng doctor doon, di ba?
Yes, pero may bago yata ang kasong hindi na kailangan yon.
That's
Bago-bago
good,
lang.
at least, like,
Bago-bago
just
lang.
be realistic na hindi lang kayo nagkasundo.
Ang pagkakaiba lang kasi ng provision na yun sa family code ay may dinagdag silang linya na nagsabing, even if it became apparent after the marriage. Ulitin ko, yung annulment dapat nangyari nung kasal. So dapat yung psychological incapacity, nung kinasal kayo, ganun na siya.
Ano na, may something na.
Ganun na siya. But even if it became apparent after the marriage. So medyo na-blur na yung distinction between annulment and divorce. Because all you need to do is prove in court na nando na yun nung kinasal kami. Hindi lang namin napansin masyado eh. Pero nando na siya. Matagal naman na talaga pala ngayon. Nalaman ko lang later on. So that blurred the line between annulment and divorce. But technically, legally, by legal parlance, we don't have divorce in the country. But the effect of the annulment provision of the Family Code, Article 36, is similar to divorce already. Pero magkaiba pa rin yung annulment sa korte at yung annulment naman sa simbahan kung saan kayo kinasal.
Iba pa rin yun. So,
Ibang proseso yun.
dalawang kakausapin mo, dear. Huwag ka muna magpakasal, in short.
So maliban na lang kung magpapalit ka ng relihiyon, o mag-annulment ka rin dun sa relihiyon na nagkasal sa'yo, hindi ka pa rin pwede magpakasal dun sa simbahan, halimbawa katoliko ka. But you can get married if you're annulled before a judge, before a mayor.
Yeah. First.
Hiwalay kasi yung civil dun sa church wedding.
God, ang hassle.
Pero pag
You must
kinasal,
really love me to do it all over again.
pinayuhan nga ako ng mga kaibigan ko, bakit? For obvious reasons.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so sa batas kasi natin, pag kinasal ka sa simbahan and you went through the legal process, the state will recognize your marriage. Pag kinasal ka sa West, hindi kikilalanin ng simbahan yun unless magpakasal ka sa
Separate
simbahan.
talaga yun. So that's why some people that are married in church, na hindi mahiwalay, they just get married legally. Is that allowed?
Again?
Kunwari, you got married to church,
Yes.
tapos it didn't work out with that person, pero hindi kayo legally married. You can get married again, but legally?
No, you will not be allowed to have a church wedding unless you went through the process required by the state.
O, debalitarin natin.
Kinasal ka sa judge,
Oo. And didn't work out.
mag-annulment ka pa rin ng marriage.
Nag-annulment. Okay, ganun.
Mag-annulment ka pa rin ng
So
marriage.
hindi ka pwede manloko and get married twice.
Kaya pinag-uusapan natin noong nakaraan, di ba, same-sex marriage as opposed to same-sex union. Same-sex marriage, parang pinipilit mo yung mga relihiyon na payagan yon. Same-sex union, yung gobyerno lang, yung estado lang, ang binibigyan mo ng kapangyarihan, kilalanin yon. Na sa tingin ko, mas malapit sa katotohanan yon kaysa same-sex marriage.
Okay, so what you're saying is, for the LGBTQ, they should push for what they can get now para mag-step forward lang.
Legal din naman yun. As I said, magkahiwalay naman yung pagkasal sa estado, magkahiwalay yung kasal sa simbahan o relihiyon. Mahirap pilitin yung relihiyon na hindi sumasang-ayon. Pero yung estado, kung may puwang siya para sa bawat mamamayan niya, pwedeng ibigay at dapat ibigay yon.
Are you gonna do something about it?
Actually, pinag-aaralan na namin yan itong after natin mag-usap.
Really? Okay. Good.
Pinag-aaralan na namin yun kung ano yung legal technicalities
Yeah,
and
there should
complications.
be.
But there must be a way.
Okay, next. How do I take legal actions against an absentee spouse? I want to change my child's last name kasi hindi naman nagpapakita yung asawa niya. Is that legal? I mean, is that okay?
Wala akong alam na batas na nagsasabing pwede mong palitan yung apelyido ng anak
Oo,
mo.
kasi napirmahan nila
Bagaman kasal kayo, dahil lang nawala siya, ginost ka at hindi na nagpapakita sa'yo. How do you take legal action? You file a case in court for support. That's the only thing you can ask the court for.
But you can't erase the last name.
Hindi. Maliban na lang kung yung bata, pag nasa edad na siya, gusto niyang palitan yung pangalan and for good
Right
cause or
pa rin
reason,
yun.
yes. Kasi ang rason yata ng batas kung bakit walang batas na nagpapayag nun, para hindi malito yung mga tao kaugnay sa kaninong anak ba to, sino bang nanay tatay nito, bagaman hindi na sila magkasundo, umalis na yung isa.
Parang just because of the emotions are rising, you still have to make things very clear.
In fact, kabaliktaran ang ginawa ng batas. Ang tawag namin doon ay Revilla Law. Pinasaya ni Ramon Revilla Sr. kung saan pinapayagan yung mga children born out of wedlock na gamitin yung pangalan o apelyido ng ama nila bagaman hindi kasal yung nanay nila at yung ama nila, basta pumayag yung tatay.
Okay, ito. This is a good question. I also want to know. So, if you have a husband or a wife, and then they passed, and then, syempre, makumamamana mo.
Both?
No, yung asawa mo lang. Or
Yung isa lang.
Whichever. Namana mo yung whatever. Pero may mga utang din siya. Do you have to pay for the utang?
Pag may namatay na isang tao, lahat ng ari-arian niya pupunta sa tinatawag nating estate niya. Yung estate niya magkakaroon ng hiwalay na personalidad.
Okay.
Siyempre, namatay na yung asawa nung isa. Bago manahin nung asawa yung parte niya, kailangan kung may mga pagkakautang na nakinabang naman yung mag-asawa o yung pamilya, bayaran mo na yan.
Eh, paano kung hindi naman nakinabang? Tulad ng bag.
Kung hindi nakinabang,
Obviously, asawa lang yung ano.
kung hindi utang yon.
Oo, utang yun.
Kung hindi,
5 years to pay.
pero mamanahin nila yung bag, pwede nila ibenta yung bag pagkatapos eh. Pag binayaran, di ba, ibayad na yung bag. Oo, di ba?
Oo nga, pero mamanahin sa bayad na yung bag. Pero,
Kukunin muna nga sa estate. Ano man mga pagkakautang. Kaya usually, pero nangyayari lang to sa mga sobrang yamang mga pamilya na napakalaki yung pinag-aawayan na billion, trillion. Nag-a-appoint ng isang administrator ang korte para i-handle yung estate, para sabihin, ito yung mga utang na dapat bayaran, unahin mo na to, sunod to. Kailangan pa ng pantuition ng mga anak, kailangan ng pambayad sa kuryente. So, okay, mag-set aside din.
wait, so explain, kung may mga kailangan ko na mayroon kang mga priorities, yung kausap na inutangan, pwede mo sabihin, not yet? No.
Oo.
Oh.
Technically, oo. Pareho lang yan ng procedure ng bankruptcy. Let's say sobrang laki na ng utang mo, hindi na sapat yung kinikita mo para bayaran, may proseso tayo sa korte tinatawag declaring bankruptcy. So pag mag-declare ka ng bankruptcy sa korte,
do that though,
yes.
Because they just don't want to pay, right?
Not that they don't want to pay.
But that's fraud.
No. The advantage of bankruptcy is when you
You
say,
have a clean slate.
yes, hindi na sapat yung pera ko para bayaran lahat ng utang ko, so bibigay mo lahat ng asset mo sa korte.
Bibigay mo pa rin.
Hindi, turnover mo, papakita mo yung accounting. Ngayon yung korte magkasabi, okay, bayaran to. Pero pagkatapos nun, so wala lang naiwan sa'yo. Hindi mo na bayaran ng kompleto yung utang. Burado na lahat ng utang nun, clean slate ka na.
Yeah, but your assets are still with you.
No.
Ikukunin nila lahat.
Siyempre, paano naman nasa
So,
yung asset
pabahay
mo?
mo everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Pero may batas naman na yung family home, hindi pwedeng i-attach, depende under certain circumstances din. Kasi gustong protektahan ng batas yung pamilya.
Kasi may kilala ako dati na taga-state siya, nag-declare siya ng bankruptcy eh. So nagulat ako nung declare siya ng bankruptcy.
Para nga makapagsimula siya muli. But anyway, yung administrator, it can be the wife, it can be the brother, the sister, the parents, a child. Yun ang pwedeng i-appoint ng korteng administrator nung property at ng estate.
Okay.
So, kumbaga parang ikaw yung appoint na administrator. Ganun.
Wala ka na mautang eh.
Huwag muna natin pag-usapan yun. Huwag muna ako mamatay.
Hindi lang. Ay, hindi. In Jesus' name. Okay. Ito, this is like stuff online. Kasi ito madami. So, you have the bashers, you have the scammers. Ikaw, mahilig ka mag-shopping online. Ako, mahilig din ako. But anyway, madaming mga naluloko na mga scammers. Is there a way that they can catch the person or what? What is your advice?
There is. Pero cops and robbers na yun. Dapat interesado yung police. Pag ang binili mo sa Shopee, 50 pesos, baka naman hindi habulin ng police yan, baka tamarin yung police. Pero kung malaki-laki yun, o marami ng beses nagawa sa maraming tao, baka pag ubusan ng oras ng panahon ng police yun.
Pag may mga tumatawag sa inyo, pag hindi naman siya legitimate company or, it's not like the real deal, huwag yun ang patulan kasi minsan may ganun din eh.
Nabanggit na namin yan, I think about a month ago, that there should be stronger legislation with respect to phishing, yung online scamming.
Yeah.
Kasi sa ngayon, ang pwede mo lang magamit, estafa.
Yeah.
Ibig sabihin nun, nangako ako may bibenta sa'yo, ng magandang kalidad, nagbayad ka, pangit pala o hindi dumating. Estafa yon. That's fraud, that's swindling.
Or for example, if you are a company, you should have like, kunwari, ang labo. Pag kunwari nagka-text sa akin yung Hermes, no matter what number it is, naka-register Hermes. Not on my phone, but they have like a registered...
Yes, may ganun.
Dapat ganon.
Yes.
Kunwari, pak, Zalora. Pak, ganito. Dapat kung may company ka and you're making money, that should also be part of legal.
But it's an extra expense.
Yeah, but I mean,
On their part.
if you're earning money, dapat that's required by the government na meron kang.
Pero kung kaya kasi nilang gawin yan, maraming magaling sa IT, kaya naman din nila sigurong gawin din yun na mapalabas na yun ang lalabas pag tatawag din sila kahit na hindi sila yung totoo.
Yeah. Okay, ito na. Ito, ever since I was a little girl, I've always been so afraid to make a mistake because I didn't know anything. I didn't handle my money whatsoever, and I always thought about that. But I'm glad I did the right thing. But I know a lot of people that don't pay for their taxes. I do. Ay, na-joke lang, hindi ko na sila kalala. Charat! Kasi baka may tanong, sino yung mga kaibigan mo? No, but I mean, I just know people that don't. What happens if you don't pay your taxes?
To begin with, yung mga may regular na sweldo, like me, as governor, government employees, private employees, withheld at source na yung sweldo, yung tax nila. Kaya nga ang tawag withholding tax eh. Hindi mo na matatanggap pa yon. It makes it easier sa regularly employed people na hindi na sila pupunta pa sa BIR. In fact, they just fill out a form
Yun na yun.
na withhold na yung taxes namin. All they have to do is file. So in other words, wala silang buwis na babayaran na.
File your income the whole year.
Your income tax return. So wala na silang kailangang bayarang buwis kasi yung sweldo nila binawas na agad. Parang yung sa'yo, di ba? Yung mga talent fees, it's withheld already.
Yeah.
So technically, bayad na yun, pa-file mo lang yung report, tapos na yan. Ngayon, yung may mga irregular income, yung hindi naman talaga regular employees.
Like for me, example, aside from yung sa talent contracts and stuff, I have paintings, I give them my receipt
Yes.
because yun yung my irregular income.
Yes. So yun, kailangan mo magbayad ng buwis doon.
Yes.
Pag kumita ka sa stock market, withheld na rin yun. No, I'm just citing examples na hindi mo na kailangan talaga mamroblema. Pero kamukha niyan, benta ng bag, benta ng painting, benta ng real property. Well, yun, hindi mo malilipat sa pangalan unless bayaran mo yung capital gains tax din. So, medyo maganda yung sistema doon. Pero pag nagbenta ka ng kotse, kumanta ka o sumayaw ka kung saan, wala ka namang management company, binayaran ka, technically that's income too.
Yeah.
Na kailangan mo magbayad din ng buwis doon. Pero paano naman malalaman na ng BIR yun? Paano pag let's say pinag-TikTok ka, pinag-post ka, ginawa mo, you have let's say 100,000 followers, whoever asked you to do it, whatever company, lalo na ngayon eleksyon, bayaran ka, that's technically income.
Yeah.
That can and should be taxed.
Yeah.
Na dapat magbayad ka ng buwis.
May bago na ngayon for YouTubers and anybody on social media.
Yes.
Now that when you get gifts or someone gave you a bag, you have to file that. You have to file the amount and you have to pay the tax for that. So, ngayon, di ko na alam kung may masaya ako na may nagbibigay. But I feel bad though for some that actually don't have anything. And syempre, parang imbis na nalugi pa sila. But what is
Actually, revenue regulation lang yan, hindi batas yan eh. Pwede at dapat tingnan yan dahil kailangan lahat ng uri at klase ng buwis batas at hindi simpleng revenue regulation lang na inisyo ng BIR. At sa totoo lang, kung babayaran mo ng buwis yun, yung binigay sa'yo, hindi dapat income tax yun.
I have a question.
Donor's tax dapat yun at ang nagbayad dapat nun, yung nagbigay.
Yun nga
Wala namang donor's tax eh.
Yun nga, tatanong ako.
So if ever nga dapat donor's tax
Pero wala,
yun, hindi
syempre,
donor's
picture,
tax.
declare, takot ako eh.
Yes, but that should be reviewed. That's something that should be
right?
looked at again.
Yeah, right. Kasi minsan iniisip ko, how about if, okay, for example, it's your birthday. They didn't give you the gift for you to post. You just wanted to say thank you and you posted it. Is that part of that declaration or what?
Kasi nga, revenue regulation siya, hindi naman pinagdebatihan sa Kongreso. So, yung nag-isip nun, malay natin kung saan galing, saan hinugot, saan niya nakuha yung kaisipang yun. So, mahirap. It's subject to various interpretations. And the problem with the interpretations is anything that's subject to discretion will always lead to corruption.
Yeah.
Ika nga, discretion always equals corruption.
Kasi nasistress ako. Siyempre, mag-regalo sa akin ng flower. I-declare ko ba ito? Ganun. Natatakot ako eh. So, pinipicturean ko na lang sa pagpadala ko.
Bagong regulasyon, paano pag hindi mo alam kung magkano?
Ayun na nga. Hindi ko rin alam.
Di ba, paano mga...
Basta ako, sinend ko. Kayo na bahala mag-ano.
Again, it has to be looked into again and reviewed.
What if you don't pay your taxes?
then you may be charged for tax evasion. Pero, ulitin ko, paano malalaman ng BIR yan given the fact that you have approximately 55 million Filipinos that's above 18 that if they're working or earning should pay the right taxes.
Yeah.
Pangalawa, meron naman kasi tinatawag na tax avoidance. Ang turo sa amin ng teacher namin sa tax law nun ay kung may dalawang tulay, yung isang tulay, pag dumaan ka, kailangan mo magbayad ng buwis. Meron namang isang tulay, mas malayo nga lang, pero wala kang kailangan bayaran. Pag dumaan ka nun sa mas malayong tulay na libre, tax avoidance yun, hindi ka lumabag ng batas. Pero pag dumaan ka dun sa maikling tulay na may bayad at hindi ka nagbayad, tax evasion yun. Klaro yun. But there are ways of doing it, explaining it. For example, kumita nga ako ng malaki, pero ginastos ko rin naman.
Yeah. Expenditures.
Yes, ginastos ko rin naman. Pinansweldo ko, bumili ako ng gamit
If it's part
para...
of your job
Exactly.
to be a certain way, there are some things that are tax deductible.
So deductible yun. Pero may hangganan din yun. Hindi naman maniniwalang walang natira sa'yo.
Oo.
But bear in mind that
Walang natira sa akin.
no, insofar as tax law is concerned, taxes, government only taxes income.
Yeah.
Government never taxes, capital is never taxed. So ibig sabihin, yung capital mo, napagbayaran mo na yung buwis, let's say 30%. Kumita ka ng 1 million, bayad ka ng 30%, may natira sa'yo yung 700,000. Pag tinago mo yung 700,000 na yun, hindi pwedeng buwisan na ng gobyerno. Nagbayad ka na ng buwis doon eh. Hindi pwedeng next year, babayaran mo pa ng buwis ulit yun. Hindi na. In fact, passive income is never taxed. When I say passive income, it means binili mo yung lupa ng piso, umakyat na ng 5 piso.
Hindi nila pwede i-tax yun.
Yung tinaas na yun, hindi. Hanggat hindi mo binibenta yung lupa. Pag binenta mo yung lupa, doon pala mapasok yung tax, capital gains tax na.
Okay, this one, I know you don't know this because I don't know this, but I heard about it. What are your thoughts about the Henan Boracay issue lately? It was basically a group of people in one room. They were so rowdy, so noisy, that everybody from the establishment woke up and made them reclamo. I don't know about it, but I know that it's a private resort, but it's a public place.
Unless there's an ordinance prohibiting it, I'm not aware of any law that will actually penalize it. But civilly, you can file cases against them afterwards if there was any damage or inability for you to sleep, given that you have an early morning the following day.
What kind of an
You can file a case for damages against them. And you can file criminally too if it would constitute a public nuisance, yung nakakagulo na, nakakabulahaw na, nakakabulabog na. You can also file a criminal case after that. Pero would you do that if you're on vacation because testigo ka pa, babalik ka pa uli doon para gawin yun? At the end of the day, if it's a private resort, even if it's a public place, it should have been the lookout of the private resort.
Yeah.
They have their guards, they have their managers. They should have reined in their guests. Para hindi naman maapektuhan yung ibang guests because it will affect their hotel, it will affect their resort. Baka hindi na bumalik yung mga ibang guests doon dahil sa hindi nila nagawa yung trabaho nila.
Kapitbahay, paano kung gano'n yung kapitbahay? Maingay,
Parang nung dati. Ganun din. Usually, ang remedy nun, nirereklamo sa barangay. Tapos, kakatukin ng tanod. Pakihinaan naman. Nagreklamo na yung mga kapitbahay. Hindi usually dumarating sa demandahan yun.
Ganun lang.
Ganun lang. Oo, kasi pag pinaalalahanan ka naman, kunwari, nagpunta ako sa bahay ng isang kaibigan ko sa isang exclusive subdivision. May mga sikat na mga politikong dumating doon na pinuno yung mga parking lot at may mga wang-wang, kompleto. Walang social distancing, so binidyo ng mga residente, nireklamo sa Homeowners Association, tinawagan yung may-ari, and they had to tone it down a bit.
Yeah. If someone is sending me threats online, which happens all the time, sabi nga ni Miriam Santiago, I eat death threats for breakfast. But if you're a normal person or you work in an office, is there like anything that you can do about it? Obviously, it's an anonymous account.
No.
I mean, is there really no facility, office, or a group of people that can find out? Technically, there is. We found out about one, but then...
Technically, kayang gawin ng PNP at saka ng NBI yan. Kaya lang, kahit na anonymous account pa siya, Kaya lang, ang paniniwala ko kasi sa mga bagay na yan,
Ako din.
pag may nagte-threaten sa'yo, walang balak gawin yan. Kasi kung talagang gusto kang patayin, ba't ko papaalam sa'yo,
Tahimik
mag-iingat
na
ka
lang.
pa.
Oo.
Gawin mo na lang. Meaning, it defies logic. So, ang
Yeah.
objective lang talaga niya, takutin, manakot,
I-harass
mangasar,
ka.
manginis, mangharas.
You just have to toughen up, I guess.
Pero mayroon kang krimen din na pwedeng i-file sa kanila. Grave threats ang tawag doon. If they're threatening to commit a crime against you, depending on the gravity of the crime, yun din yung kaparusahan, 1 degree lower, na pwedeng ipataw sa'yo ng korte if you're proven guilty. So, yung unang kaso ko, ganun. Unang kaso ko ng estudyante ako, sinulat sa poster, mukhang caricature niya, siyempre, pinababoy yung mukha, tapos nilagay, bukas tatakpan ka ng dyaryo. Kasi may pelikula noon na,
Yun yung
di ba
line.
pagpatay, tinatakpan ng dyaryo noon sa pelikula. So, kinonsider na grave threats yan, dinimanda yung kliyente ko. We were able to acquit him kasi hindi naman siya nakakatakot. Nilagyan niya ng sunga yung tao, may mga pimple, tapos binilog yung drawing. Meaning, hindi talaga siya nakakatakot at all. Nakakatawa siya if at all. So, my client was acquitted, but there is such a case that can be filed against if you threaten anyone. Yun nga, poster lang na nilagay sa wall eh.
So technically, the NBI can help. Actually, for me, pwede ko i-share.
Ikaw.
Proven na yan sa akin because I was really looking at this one account. It was too much. And at that time, di pa ako, mahina-hina pa yung loob ko. So, bothered ako. So, dumating na ako sa NBI level and na-reveal yung gumagawa ng account. But then, it was still up to me if I wanted to pursue and actually reveal the people behind it. Kasi pati yung location, kung saan sila, to ganyan. But you know what? Yun na siguro. I decided
At the end of the day,
yeah, at the end of the day,
nakumbinsi ko siya.
in fairness, parang, okay, sobrang sama nila, but do I really want them to go to jail because of me? Ang ganda na naman ng mga buhay nila, kung ganyan sila. So sometimes decision din, but at least it gives you comfort knowing na if talagang it gets bad, there is a place that you could go to and they can really find out kung sino talaga yung mga nagde-death threats sa'yo.
I was surprised too that they had the technology to do that already.
I was also
In
surprised.
fairness.
At ilan ang gumagamit? Sino yung what time, saan location, ilan sila.
And a lot of Philippine National Police stations can actually do that already. In Sorsogon, we can do that too.
Ah, talaga?
Mhm.
Oh, wow!
Kasi may 911 kami doon, di ba? Ang daming tumatawag na nangaasar lang. Yung namumuisip
so,
lang.
nahanap mo na kung sino.
Pinapatulan lang namin yung mga tipong nakatawag na ng 100 beses na prank. Yun lang yung mga pinapatulan namin. Pero yung mga paisa-isa, yung siguro nagkakasiyan, susubukan kung talagang umaandar yun o hindi, okay lang yan. Pero minsan may mga 2 o 3 na utang na loob naman, 100 beses ka tatawag sa loob ng isang araw. It occupies the line.
Yeah.
So we passed an ordinance prohibiting it. And we were able to actually trace them.
Yeah. So I guess like in a nutshell, I mean everything that we're saying, there's always a solution to the problem. You just have to know what to do with the first step. Don't let your anger or your frustration get in the way of what you need to do and for you to be the bigger person. Lahat may solusyon.
At dadalhin mo ba talaga dun sa hangganan? Will you actually bring it to its logical conclusion? Sometimes we tend to be more forgiving.
Yeah, be the better person because at the end of the day, you will have a better life than all of these.
May bawi yan, tama ka.
May bawi
yan.
talaga. So, ayun. So, I hope this video helped all of you, gave you comfort, kind of eased your anxiety when it comes to certain things. And again, if you are looking for a lawyer, you can call Charot. 1-800. No, I mean it's not bad to ask to inquire about the services of a lawyer kasi hindi naman laging mahal.
Tinuturo naman talaga din sa law yan, tinuturo din sa medicine yan. Hindi porkit nasa klinika, doon ka lang pwedeng tanongin. Hindi porkit nasa law office ka, doon ka lang pwedeng tanongin. As leaders in your respective communities, parang ikaw, nakita mo si Doc kagabi. Kung may tanong ka, di ba? I mean, Doc, paano nga pala yung ganito? Paano yung ganito? Pag may nakausap kang abogado, feel free to ask. And quite frankly, it's part of a lawyer's sworn oath to actually try to help and not to charge for every piece of advice they give, especially if it's outside of the law office and if it's just a simple legal question.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love you so much. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, to my channel, don't forget to do so. Thanks, babe.
Ultimate.